Hey, Demon here, back and again with another Reddit reading. Writing prompt. Your son is extremely friendly, and he's befriended a man he encounters on his walk to school every week. Well, it turns out that this man is the head of a mafia crime family, and now he's turned up at your front door, backed by two of his quote unquote friends, requesting to be your son's godfather. As always, this is taken from the Writing Prompts subreddit, and I hope you enjoy. There was a rattling of keys in the door. I stood quickly and went to turn the latch. Jamie always took forever getting the door open, and he had already scratched the paint from the door all around the lock, the clumsy little thing. I was being too harsh, of course. He was only 7, after all. I flipped the latch and opened the door. Jamie swept in like a hurricane, the usual words falling out of his mouth in a waterfall. Hey, Mom, is there anything I need you? And by the way, this is Luke I was telling you about. By the time I divined the meaning of his words, he was in the kitchen, rifling through the refrigerator for his post-school snack. I looked out the doorway to see if I could see this Luca. Nothing. I took a step out onto the deck and looked around. There was no childhood friend, Timmy. In his place, there were 3 large men, one sitting quietly on the patio furniture, and the other 2 stood quietly, like sentries, and the steps to the porch. Each man was dressed in a clean suit of good black linen and had dark hair neatly combed back. Next to the man who was sitting, they had left an empty seat. The seated man stood and offered his hand out to me. Mrs. Athenas, it's a pleasure to meet you. Jamie has told me so much about you. I'm Luca. Reluctantly, I gripped the proffered hand, cautiously estimating how far I could run from these men before they caught up, how long the door would last, and where we kept the gun, and whether it was loaded still. Behind me, the door clicked as it closed softly. I jumped, despite myself. Luca smiled at me gently, clearly sensing the fear and apprehension I was experiencing. Mrs. Athenas, please take a deep breath. We are not here to hurt you or your son. Quite the contrary, for your son, through his good nature and hard work, has become quite dear to us. I swallowed hard. My son? His smile turned quizzical at this, and he produced a lit cigarette. With it between his teeth, he continued, Surely he has mentioned me, no? His good friend, Luca? Luca is Jamie's friend from school. A child. The grown adult in front of me chuckled, and as if remembering his manners, offered me a cigarette myself, which I declined with a shake of my head. He mused and turned to his 2 companions. Tell the nice lady your names. Both men turned, and with a slight nod of their heads, spoke their names. Anthony. Leo. 2 more names I knew as Jamie's schoolyard pals. Luca continued on. See, your son has become quite important to us, as I've already said. He's been helping the 3 of us with errands every day on his way to school. Luca from school, who Jamie has insisted was a good friend, and who he had jumped the big fence with last week, who had helped him deal with the bullies at school. Anthony, the story of passing notes and running messages to the teacher's staff rooms, the story of delivering lunches to particular teachers on particular days. Leo, the friend with whom he had gone to several convenience stores, ostensibly looking for the best sweets, talking to clerks, while Leo went to go check on the stock in the back. It all clicked, and it must have clicked obviously, for Luca chuckled again. Jamie's a good kid, and when he's a bit older, we might have some work for him if he's interested. But right now, we were actually hoping for your cooperation on another matter. I stared daggers into the man, but this only made Luca smile all the wider. Some of Jamie and our adventures have attracted the attention of certain parties. We would prefer these parties not speak to him about us. The man reached into his jacket. I started quite badly, I'm ashamed to admit, and the 2 guards stepped up behind me, alert. Luca produced a large manila envelope, and from it, paperwork. The heading read, Godparent Eligibility Form. It was filled with Jamie's Luca's, as well as It was filled with Jamie's details, along as well with details for Mr. L. Giovanni. I stared, dumbfounded at the paperwork. Luca coughed politely. It really is for the best. We can't have the boy dragged through the courts, now can we? This way ensures he never need testify against me, nor me him. Oh, and if you need something to seal the deal... He reached back into his jacket, and this time he was careful to expose the holstered pistol under his left arm. He produced a wad of cash from the interior pocket of his jacket and tossed it down into the paperwork. I said nothing, for I thought I could say nothing. He stood. Once you've signed it, please seal and mail the envelope, and we never have to see you or your son ever again. He strolled down the steps of the patio and out into the street. He was stepping into his black sedan when he thought better and turned back to regard me with a terrifying grin. That is, unless you prefer I come back from time to time. I blanched and ran inside to find a pen. By the time I had come back, they were long gone. Alright, that's the end of that short story. I'd advise you to go and check out writing prompts for yourself and maybe even write a story of your own. This prompt was written by Eat My Username, and, well, let's just say I enjoyed reading it. As you could tell from the way my accent bounced around. Other than that, please have a good day. I wish you the best of luck. Drink water, eat food, get some rest if you need it. Like I've said before, this was inspired by listening to PM Seymour on YouTube. And I hope that you will have a wonderful week. These will normally be posted on the weekends or in the replacement of a stream or some other form of long-form content such as a VOD. Outside of that, like I said before, drink water, get some rest, eat some food, stay safe, and have a good day and a good week. Until then, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.